Hey, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're looking at what I can only presume to be another episode of kids looking to be oppressed for a normal attraction to drawn characters. So, today we're going to be going over the wave of kids that for some reason believe they now identify as anime-sexual because they saw an anime drawing and they felt some kind of way about it. Now, obviously to anyone with half a brain cell, this probably sounds like the most outlandish thing, because like, whether you're attracted to a drawing or not does not actually really affect your sexuality. Like, maybe if you're staring at like drawings of guys, that can make you gay. If you're staring at drawings of girls, that can make you like a lesbian, if you know what I mean. But according to some kids, apparently it's a new part of the LGBTQIA+, and apparently we're all discriminating and being bigots. So, first I'd like to give you a definition of what they like to call anime-sexual. So, anime-sexual, also known as anime-sexual, manga-sexual, or emina-fictic, is an ace-spec identity and a form of ficti-sexuality where one is exclusively or almost exclusively attracted to anime/manga characters. Many ace-spec people only feel attraction towards people who they know could never possibly be in a relationship with, such as fictional characters. While it is normal to occasionally have a crush on fictional characters, if one is anime-sexual, they may feel like it is difficult or impossible to be attracted towards people in real life. If the attraction is not exclusive, anime-sexual people may feel as though they are more frequently attracted to anime/manga characters than they are to people in real life. And yeah, this could definitely fall under the asexual category. However, that doesn't mean it's its own sexuality, by any means at all. But before I get into the juicy stuff, I'd just like to do a little self-promo intro. I'm going to keep this short, but if you're new to the channel or haven't already, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. I make videos every single day on various different topics, and I'm sure you'll probably enjoy a few of them if you stick around. You can check out my actual funny moments montage video I posted yesterday. It's one that I put a lot of work into. I know it was going to do really bad, but still, if you haven't seen it and you think it might be up your alley, I'd recommend checking it out. It's a video I put a lot of work into, and it turned out really well in my opinion. Also, just subscribing to help me get to my 50,000 subscriber goal by the end of the year would be highly appreciated. Furthermore, if you'd like to check out my other social media like my Twitter, Discord, Instagram, they're all linked down below in the description. So if you want to go check out those platforms, they're readily available to you, and you'll get to see more of who I am off of camera, if you know what I mean. Off of script, almost. And finally, if you'd like to support these videos financially, like a bunch of people have, genuinely thank you, check out my Patreon, Ko-fi, and Join button, all linked down below in the description. With that being said, let's get right back onto the video with a quick disclaimer that this video isn't to harass individuals identifying as anime-sexual. This video is to criticize those people and give my opinions on this rising identity. Personally, I feel like being anime-sexual isn't a real thing, and tying a normal attraction to the LGBTQIA feels like an attempt to victimize themselves. If you identify as anime-sexual, you don't have to take anything I'm saying to heart. This video isn't that serious, it's just a perspective from me, a member of the LGBTQIA, giving my opinion on how I view this whole anime-sexual trend. And just to state the obvious, LGBTQIA+ stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, and asexual/aromantic. None of these are anime-sexual, obviously, though I guess anime-sexual may fit under the spectrum of asexual, but I do genuinely believe that it's not its own sexuality. Alright, important disclaimers out of the way, let's get right into it. Recently, I've noticed a pattern of communities cropping up enabling anime-sexuals as part of the LGBTQIA, which is, in my opinion, actively harmful to the LGBTQIA+. Because what ends up happening is when you claim that you're anime-sexual or dream-sexual or whatever else sexual, you actively devalue the discrimination that queer-identifying individuals actually experience, tying them to sexual attractions that genuinely aren't discriminated against very much. But more recently, subreddits like r/love for anime-sexuals have appeared, which are intended to be safe places for anime-sexuals being harassed, resulting in a server filled with people enabling this behavior and endorsing the idea of anime-sexuals being part of the LGBTQIA+. Though this community often gets consistently raided by people spamming slurs, which helps nobody and actively highlights how desperate people are to harass others. Whether you agree with the existence of anime-sexuals or not, harassment shouldn't be tolerated. I recently also discovered a subreddit creatively named Animesexual, where people seem to be spreading this stance even more, developing the ideas of anime pit sexual, where they're attaching images of armpits on anime girls and describing how attractive this is to them, which makes me actually concerned if these people understand what a sexuality is. Having attraction to armpits doesn't make you armpit sexual. I don't know, dude. This community has also been sharing the idea of dream sexual, which is now apparently under the umbrella of anime-sexual, which is once again a sexuality developed for a regular attraction to certain people. The problem with kids being allowed to post on topics like the LGBTQIA+, and provide easily misinformed understandings of what the LGBTQIA+ is, because a lot of these kids don't comprehend what being part of the LGBTQIA community actually means, leading to the belief that things like dream sexual can exist, harming the LGBTQIA community as it devalues the existence of real LGBTQIA individuals and downplays what they mean, devaluing pride into the sexual appeal to every single thing on Earth. I find it funny that these people ban anime phobes though. Seems like a very cultist platform to censor opposing opinions and sharing beliefs that aren't real. I actually found one comment amongst the people calling this person a supporter of German world leader who shall not be named for questioning what anime-sexual means, clarifying and stating the following. According to the LGBTA wiki, anime-sexual, also known as animesexual, manga-sexual, or animefictic, is an ace-spec identity and a form of ficti sexuality, where one is exclusively or almost exclusively attracted to anime/manga characters. Many aspec people only feel attraction towards people who they know could never possibly be in a relationship with, such as fictional characters. While it is normal to occasionally have a crush on fictional characters, if one is anime-sexual, they may feel like it's difficult or impossible to be attracted towards people in real life. If the attraction is not exclusive, anime-sexual people may feel as though they are more frequently attracted to anime/manga characters than they are to people in real life. Also from that site, it is not a paraphilia because paraphilias are known as sexual disorders or harmful desires, often leading to the distress of the person experiencing them and or those around them. Anime-sexuality, however, does not usually cause harm as it does not influence or promote any dangerous or harmful acts, and is simply a desire/attraction to one who does not exist outside of anime and manga. In some cases, one who is anime-sexual may feel levels of distress due to being unable to have sexual feelings for people in reality. However, this does not mean that everyone who is anime-sexual feels this way, nor does it mean that anime-sexuality is bad. As far as it being a valid sexuality in the LGBTQA+ community, I have no idea. I kinda doubt it actually. I just use it as a word with a definition that describes myself accurately enough to be a fact. I just discovered this subreddit, but I don't plan to frequent here as it looks more like a place to shitpost than anything else. And I appreciate that user Can't Stop Nutting was able to keep me informed on that. This whole situation seems to remind me of the made-up sexualities seen on TikTok, where they literally create a derogatory word to be used against them that only they can use. Genuinely, they made an insult for themselves that only they can use? They planned the insults for themselves. I don't know if my point could be clear enough. They quite literally chose an insult for themselves. On to the next subheading. While tired, I wrote the words, "Kids shouldn't have Twitter" as the title for this section, and I thought that was worth noting because it's quite funny. I recently discovered a Twitter thread that dissolved my every brain cell into actual mush, explaining why being anime-sexual is real and a valid sexuality. This thread reads, "Now, many argue that it's not technically LGBT, despite the oppression that many anime-sexuals go through. People casually throw slurs such as weeb and harass us because of the pure love we share for our fictional lover." Which is actually fucking hilarious, that they try to tie people mocking them to discrimination over a sexuality, turning the term weeb into an apparent slur, when weeb quite literally just means a derisive term for non-Japanese people who are so obsessed with Japanese culture that they wish they were actually Japanese. The thread continues, "What's even worse is that we can't find our own true comfort with our lovers because they aren't real. At least the other members of the LGBT can physically touch their partners." This is ridiculous. Genuinely. You can be an anime fan or find anime characters hot without trying to turn them into a sexuality, given the definition for sexuality is a person's identity in relation to the gender or genders to which they are typically attracted. I think it speaks for itself that an attraction to a drawing isn't a sexuality. Finally, the thread states, "This is why I believe that anime-sexuals deserve protection from governments around the world due to our status as being a marginalized minority." Which is ridiculous. People can mock you for being attracted to anime characters. They'd be arseholes or whatever, but that is life. It's not discrimination because people find you claiming stake in the LGBTQIA+ community because you're attracted to anime characters weird. But with that being said, at this current moment, I don't see a way that anime-sexuality could exist. If you do believe that there is a way to educate me and explain to me that it actually is a real thing, I'd love to see your comment. The way I've interpreted the definition of sexuality is referring to genders that people are actually attracted to, and I don't think that being attracted to a drawing fits under genders, and it more fits under, like, a kink, but I guess it could also fit under the subheader of, like, aromantic asexual. So, I guess it's all really up to you, but I don't believe that sexuality is the right term for this at all, and I find it ridiculous that people are trying to tie it to dream sexuality. But the internet's the internet says a lot of stupid shit nowadays. And with that being said, if you have enjoyed this video, feel free to check out my other social media link down below. If you could check out my Twitter and Discord and Instagram, all of those platforms are on their way to respective milestones, so if you could support me on those platforms, that would be highly appreciated, and would allow me to grow them to bigger and bigger sizes, which would mean a lot. Also, I'm aiming for 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so if you could take a second to scroll down and just check if you're subscribed, even if you think you are. You may be unsubscribed. Like, I know a lot of people think that that's like bullshit that YouTubers say to get people to like look at if they're subbed or not, but that is actually a real thing. YouTube does unsubscribe people. It happened to me the other day. But basically my point being that YouTube does actually unsubscribe accounts at random times, so if you could just check that you're subscribed, that would be highly appreciated. Finally, if you'd like to support me financially, that would also be highly appreciated. As I mentioned, Patreon, Ko-fi, join button, all down below. Feel free to go check me out and fund me on those methods. Finally, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, feel free to check out some more of my content. And with that being said, I'll see you next time, and peace.
Says she wanna rock when it like me. I'm a stylish guy. Spend a little guap when it like me. We can catch a fly. Says she wanna rock when it like me.